Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mauqe tutorial series. In the previous video, we learned how to create an application using simple mode. We created a form, added fields, configured views and published our application. Now that our application is ready, it's time to make it smarter. In this video, we are going to learn how to create an approval workflow. An approval workflow allows Mauqe to automatically assign requests to the right people, wait for their decision, send notifications and continue the process without any manual follow-up. By the end of this video, you'll have a fully working approval workflow connected to your application. So let's get started. I'm currently inside the application we created earlier. Let's open the form, click on the form component, and on the right side, if we scroll down, you'll find a section called approval process. Right now mine says no approval. It simply means that whenever someone submits the form, Mauqe stores the submission but nothing else happens. No manager reviews it, no approval is required, no notification is sent, the request is simply saved. But in most real businesses, that's usually not enough. Imagine a leave request or a purchase request or an expense claim. Someone usually needs to review and approve it before it can move forward. That's exactly why Mauqe provides a workflow. Let's create our first workflow. At the top of this page, click on workflows. Now click new workflow. I'll give this workflow a name. For this example, I'll simply call it as sample. You'll notice that every workflow starts with the start node. This represents the beginning of the process. Every workflow begins here. Now let's add our first node. On the left hand side, click approval task. Now connect the start node to the approval task. This approval task represents the person responsible for reviewing the request. On the right hand side, we can configure this task. First, choose the approver. This could be a manager, supervisor, HR or anyone responsible for approving request. Next, we can define how many approvals are required. In this example, we'll keep it as any one approver, meaning only one approval is enough for the workflow to continue. We can also configure the SLA escalation settings and choose which actions are available, such as approve, reject, return, back or forward. For now, we'll keep the default settings. Once the request has been approved, we usually want something else to happen. For example, we may want to notify another user. So let's add another node. This time we'll use the notification node. Connect the approval task to the notification node. This means the notification will only be sent after the request is approved. On the right side, we can configure the notification. We can define the title, the body of the message and the notification channel. For this demonstration, I'll leave the default settings. Every workflow should have a proper ending. So now let's add the end node. Connect this end node to the notification node. This tells Mauqe that once the notification is sent, the workflow is complete. Now let's save our workflow. Our approval process is now ready. Creating a workflow alone doesn't make it active. We now need to attach it to our form. Let's go back to the application editor. Click on the form component. Scroll down to the approval process section. Earlier it showed no approval, just save, but now you'll notice our newly created workflow appears in the dropdown. I'll simply select it. Now I'll click the save page. That's it. From this point onwards, every new submission for this form will automatically follows this approval workflow. Let's see it in action. I'll open the application and submit a sample request. You can choose the preview option from the menu. I'll fill up few sample details, that is test something, and the time should be the current time. It is just the dummy data, and then you can just click the submit. Here the app have been submitted successfully and you can just test. You can just check the approvals. If I open the navigation menu at the top, you will notice a page called approvals. This is where pending approvals task appear. I'll open the request and then here I can review all the submitted information. At the bottom I can choose my decision. I'll select approve. Optionally, I can also leave a comment explaining my decision. The approval task is now completed. Since our workflow was connected to a notification node and then an end node, Mauqe automatically continues the remaining steps without any additional work. Everything happens automatically according to the workflow we designed. Before we finish, let's quickly look at the other workflow nodes available in Mauqe. Beside approval task and notifications, you will also find condition. This allows you to create different paths based on your data. For example, if an amount is greater than a certain value, you can send it for additional approval. Parallel, this starts multiple workflow branches at the same time. Join, this waits until a parallel branches have completed before continuing. Timer, this pauses the workflow for a specified amount of time before moving to the next step. Webhook, this sends workflow data to external applications or services using an HTTP request. Then the form data, this lets you update or transform form data automatically as the workflow runs. Subprocess, this allows you to reuse another workflow instead of rebuilding the same logic multiple times. These nodes nodes help you automate much more complex business processes, and we'll explore them in future tutorials. And that's how easy it is to build and connect an approval workflow in Mauqe. We have created a workflow, assigned an approver, connected to our application, and tested complete approval process from submission to approval. In the next video, we'll continue exploring more powerful features of Mauqe and show you how to build even more advanced business processes. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the entire Mauqe tutorial series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.